Welcome
to
Roto
Draft.
Yeah, that was awesome. Just like last time. Terrible.
Nicey.
We got to work on
All
our
right.
harmonization.
Chris, you're up.
Yes.
You picked our first set.
Anyways, I picked Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I really just want to play the One Ring. I thought it'd be cool to pick, and then I first picked it. And I mean, it has a bunch of other cool cards too, like Bowmasters. I don't remember the other cards, but they were cool.
Next.
I picked Ravnica. Ravnica has a lot of cool old cards. Life from the Loam, Birds of Paradise, Court of Calling. All the dredge cards are in here. I thought I would just have some good vague combo enablers and also some good lands with the bounce lands and shock lands.
I picked Decoria. I like all the companions. I like that they give you a lot of direction in your drafting. And I really like the cycling deck. Next.
I picked the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I thought it was a really cool limited set that I didn't really get to draft when it first came out. It has a lot of ninjas, it has a lot of artifact and enchantment synergies, it has some cool sagas, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm Terrence. I picked 10th edition because I just wanted to expand the card pool with better mana fixing and just like cards to fill out your deck than our last Roto draft.
Our first 5 picks. Same in order. So it went Chris, Henry, me, Matt, Terrence. Chris.
Yeah,
You picked Lord of the Rings. You picked the One Ring. It's that easy.
It was pretty nice.
Henry, how long did you take to choose Lurrus between Lutri and Lurrus? Lutri and Lurrus.
I was worried that there wouldn't be enough lurrisable cards that were good, but he seemed stronger in his powers than Lutri. So I chose Lurrus. It didn't take too long.
Took like half a day. Much slower
Like half a
than me.
day.
I slammed Gyruda as soon as first opportunity. Gyruda's awesome. It was not very good, but it was awesome. Matt?
Well, I wanted to pick Lurrus, but that was out of the question, so I picked Lutri, and there were some cool things that I had in mind when I picked Lutri. You could double up Glimpse the Unthinkable. There's some big burn spells you can double up on, so seems like a good pick.
Terrence?
Yeah, I also wanted to play Lurrus. And then Lurrus and Lutri got picked, and I'm like, I just think this is the best card left in the pool. Fable. It was pretty good.
Straight into birds.
Yeah. I like birds. Just good card. And there's 2 of them. So I don't know. It seemed like you could make a really consistent turn 2 strong plays like Fable.
Remand, Bowmaster, Reprieve. All similar kind of like early interaction cards. Chris, why did you take Water Grave so early? I kind of needed that for my Gyruda deck.
Because I wanted some good fixing. Because I didn't know when to play, so I was like, I'll just take some lands.
Cringe.
And then I'll go from there.
And then you did it again. Then you just took Lorien Revealed.
It's pretty nice.
You took Dark Confidant pretty early. I like that. That was one of the good Lurrisable things.
Yeah, it's easy to just grind people out with Lurrus, so cards that contribute towards that, like Dark Confidant, and all the 1-for-1 removal are just really good.
I took Demir Signet. This is where my descent into madness started. I just started taking Signets like a crazy person, but I think the idea was solid, just having good early ramp.
He was tilted.
Chris, why did you take Palantir? You love going One Ring into Palantir. Why did you take Water Grave? What's wrong with you?
I was really on my lands plan, I thought I almost took Palantir. I almost went, the One Ring Palantir and like Bankbuster, just like be super open. But I don't know. I think at some point Chance suggested me take like some lands, so I did.
Yeah, we
I
were
don't
just
know
like
why I picked these lands.
so stressed from last time not having any lands.
Yeah.
This time we went crazy with lands. This time everyone goes catch your triumph.
Yeah.
Oliphant
The
Yeah.
troll.
lands were really awkward in this pool. Again, I mean, last time we were complaining about the Strixhaven, all enemy colored lands, but here there's like all the pain lands, which is nice, but then half the triomes and 4 shocks,
Yeah.
plus the mountain and basic land type cyclers. It just kind of adds a really weird texture. Like I went obs on Lurrus here because that had 2 of the guilds from the first Ravnica set in it.
Here's where we start to see Triumph, Temple Garden. Everyone's sort of filling out their mana. This is your deck, Chris? You went 3-1. You played Sauron and his minions. How'd you feel about your deck?
Felt pretty good. It was a lot of fun to play. It's kind of like the deck I like to play, I guess. Playing Sauron always felt awesome, you know. The only game I lost against was Henry, and I don't remember what went wrong, but I feel I was drawing too many cards. I just let him kill me.
Yeah, how many times did you die to the One Ring?
I think like once or
It's
twice.
acceptable.
That's not bad.
I don't know if anyone remembers, but yeah,
I was surprised by how good Convolute was in your deck.
it's pretty
It's just
nice.
like
Like
counter if you pay 4 or whatever.
I feel like the tradition, right? Like what's it called? Like Lurrus got like creature counter spells, or like even these 3 mana counter spells. Like we don't normally play them in other formats, so I just feel kind of bad. But I just feel like I want to take a bunch of counter spells, so I did. And it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, the counter spells in these sets were not particularly strong. I think Remand and Spell Pierce were the strongest, but if you wanted like a good hard counter spell, they think the best option is just cancel or a cancel variant.
I'm
True.
stop kind of cooked.
Times Are was
Timed Up was really
awesome.
good. That was Gita's suggestion. I didn't think it was good, but it was awesome. It won me so many games. I probably liked it more than Sauron.
You feel so in control. You just be like, what are you casting? Oh, actually, your turn is over. You're done.
Yeah. Terrence like, I'm gonna
He's
swing
even
out and
better than
kill you.
time. Yeah.
Just kidding. You're not swinging at
Ruins
shit.
me.
You lost.
Shout out Mount Doom.
Mount
I don't
Doom was
think it
pretty
did
nice.
anything.
I don't think I ever got to activate. I mean, it worked because let me play Sauron, but I don't think I ever got to activate it. And the one
It
time
would
I
have been a
tried,
nightmare against me, but
yeah,
All right, Henry. The opposing deck, Frodo and Sam in Lurrus.
I like this deck a lot. And a lot of like cards that look like cards you would play in a Lurrus deck in like Vintage Cube. Like this stupid Selfless Samurai card looks kind of like Selfless Spirit, or Westfold Rider looks like Cathar Commando. Um, it just has a little bit of mana acceleration, some tutors, a bunch of ways to recur Lurrus between Frodo and the Black Channel land, uh, and just like cheap creatures that can put a lot of damage. The ring mechanic is really good for pushing damage because the 4th chapter makes everything deal 3 damage if it hits someone. So it's easy to just have like a dinky 1/1 that is kind of effective at pushing damage once you've grinded your opponent out of cards.
You took these naturalizes pretty high. You took Kappatek Reckler, Westfold Rider. I think you had some more in the sideboard too. You were like really teched against all the artifact stuff happening.
Yeah, I wanted some exile disenchants against Chris to be able to remove the One Ring. And you were playing the Talismans, and Matt had Palantir and the legendary Aragon Sword, and Terrence had all the flip enchantments from Kamigawa like Fable. So it seemed good to have a bunch of those main decked, but I also had a lot of sideboard cards against everyone. I even like wrote out a little sideboard guide for all my matches, which was pretty helpful since I had like a lot of options in the sideboard.
That's smart. Not me. I had no room for a sideboard. I went 0-4. I played every single card I drafted. I think the idea was solid. It started out with Gyruda being able to flip into Lava Serpent and imposing Vantasaur, but then they also cycled, so it was free. But then I started adding more bad cyclers, and then I decided I was going to mill out and I wasn't going to be able to Zenith Flare for enough, so then I just started playing more cards, hoping it was all going to stay together with Signets and Wraths. I got to do my thing against Terrence once or twice, where you like loop Bath Song with Revive the Shire, and you can draw your whole deck again. But usually I would just die. It wasn't enough to like Wrath or Farewell, especially when people had counterspells and had recursion. I still stand by that. I think the deck could have been awesome. I think it could have been good.
There's a high you could have written.
I think so.
All right, yeah, this deck sucked. I wanted to copy Glimpsed Unthinkable with Lutri, but Chris just started taking all the blue-black lands early on. So my second option was Explosive Singularity to deal 20 damage. But I quickly found out that there weren't any good treasure generators in these sets, and there were too many mass removal spells to consistently have a lot of token generators to convoke the Explosive Singularity. So this deck basically played out as a bad control deck without much card draw or good answers, and I just hope to use Shark Typhoon or tempo out a win with the Voracious Great Shark, or just use Beacon of Destruction like 3 or 4 times to kill my opponent.
I think
My
Great
best
Shark might have been your best card.
Great Shark was my
It
best
swung the
card.
game so crazily whenever you resolved it. Or maybe Faramir. Faramir was also really crazy.
Yeah, I think I should have leaned more into like some sort of tempo strategy instead of splitting my draft between trying to make Explosive Singularity work with like Twin Cast and all of that nonsense.
How many people did you kill with Gandalf Sanction?
Two. I got a win off of you, and I think I got a win off of Chris as well. It was pretty good copying it with Lutri, even if it just killed 2 creatures and didn't necessarily kill the opponent, but it'd still do like 6, 7, 8 damage to them off of the spell trample. Pretty solid.
Your dream was cool though. Explosive Singularity was a cool dream. I liked it. Terrence, how many times have you watched the Lord of the Rings movies?
Oh man, too many apparently. Dude, yeah. I don't know. I was so excited about the fixing, and I kept looking at all these sick ass multicolor cards. I picked up 2 birds early because I didn't really know exactly what I was gonna do, but then I just kind of picked every creature, tried to Winota and Doors of Durin, which worked out relatively well.
Chris
My
was
best cards.
terrified of doors.
Oh, dude, yeah. He just like sat there leaving mana open 5 turns in a row or something.
Whatever. I still won the game, but it was scary. You like really
Alright,
owned me.
yeah, it's true. I think the best cards in my deck was probably like Vivian though. The Planeswalkers were pretty good. Arwen was surprisingly good.
I think Birds into Fable also won you a lot of games. Like that's just like a
Yeah,
modern or legacy type start. It's really
if
hard to keep
Fable
up
was
with
a
that.
little awkward in my deck because I drafted almost exclusively legendary creatures. Um, but it was still really good. Yeah.
Did you do anything with this Broodmoth ever?
No, I just like played it as a
Nice.
fodder. I don't think it was ever triggered.
Eowyn was really strong. Actually, all your legends were really strong. They all had haste. I don't understand. I kept board wiping, and then you just keep playing more legends with haste.
Yeah, including my Merry Esquire of Rohan.
Did you think about taking the Anthem effect for Legends? Flowering of the White Tree.
Yeah, looking at my list now, that probably would have been pretty good, but I didn't even look at it. Which is crazy because I played a lot in Brawl.
You
What
didn't take
card?
the legendary land either. The land that taps for 2 mana for legends. You were talking about it a lot, but
Yeah, it was hard trying to get enough green sources to play birds or elf on turn 1. Uh, and it because I have like 2 triomes, so it was kind of awkward. Having untapped green.
yeah, you took the Andatha Triumph instead of Temple Garden, really biting you in the ass like
Yeah, that was
40,
that was a
40
pretty
picks
critical
later.
blunder.
Yeah, I was having a hard time fitting enough green sources in my deck for the Delighted Halfling and the Elves of Deep Shadows. That's something I hate about these Winota decks in draft, is it's just really hard to like balance your third color mana requirements and also balance having enough humans versus non-humans. Just really
Yeah,
awkward
the
when you
humans.
don't have access to the full pool.
Yeah, yeah, it was a little awkward. Finding good humans was kind of tough. Uh,
And you have the good ones.
yeah. No, but it was fun. I liked it.
Chris, congratulations. Even though I've played the entire Ikoria set in my deck, you somehow still had more main deck cards from Lord of the Rings and more sideboard cards. It's crazy. 68 cards from Lord of the Rings.
Yeesh.
23. Oh, 24 main deck from Ravnica. 42 from Ikoria. And that's with all my main deck cyclers. 35 from Kamigawa. 28 from 10th edition. Not a bad spread, but Lord of the Rings kind of owning.
Yeah, I guess it's just a much higher power set. But
Yeah, it just has good
otherwise,
card quality from top to bottom.
I mean, like,
Great.
even if Ikoria was only really drafted by Guido with the cyclers, the companions were like a major aspect, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
my
they have an
goal, and it
outsized
worked.
impact.
So,
Yeah.
although no one took Gigantha, which leads me into these are the unpicked cards. No one took Yorion or Gigantha or Obosh, which I think are all actually reasonable companions that could have been fit in.
Yeah. I was thinking about playing Gigantha, but I took the frickin' Wandering Emperor and the Vivian, and then I was like, oh man, I don't want to take the Gigantha and just give up on these two picks.
You didn't take
Which,
Life from the Loam. You're a Life from the Loam lover. We're gonna start from
yeah,
top left.
that was also disappointing. Looking
Yeah,
back,
no
there were a lot of
fetches.
different ways we could have done the draft, and the Seismic Assault Loam deck is probably the most fun. That's so cool.
I think the Glimpse could have been played, even though Chris took all the black lands. I think there's a mill deck that exists there. Henry was talking about the. Did you map out a Zerda deck, Henry? You had been talking about it a little bit.
For the Blue Black Mill?
Yeah, I don't know, like a Zerda
Oh,
Ambassador, Glimpse,
not
Lutri.
not really. I think the Ambassador is pretty good outlet because Zorda just functionally generates a bunch of mana for you to mill your opponents out. But obviously, your mana base is pretty awkward. I was dreaming more of a Yorion plus the green-white Samwise and just flickering your whole board and making like a million food.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Terrence, you didn't take Breath of Fury. I thought you. They do play it like in CDH. Breath of Fury with and Aura Touch Mage is a human too. You can Winota it into play.
The
Do you think
Aura
it was
Touch
worth?
Mage, I was really thinking of taking, and I kind of just forgot that we talked about it. You sent me Breath of Fury, and I was like, oh, Aura Touch Mage, easy, and then I just didn't take it. But I think it could have been cool. Yeah, Breath of Fury, I was looking at it, and then I'm like, dude, if I like enchant a creature and it just gets killed, I feel like I lose the game. But
You already lose the game to removal spells, so
yeah, it's
super
true.
losing the game to removal spells isn't really where you want to be. I think there are a lot of good like artifact synergies that no one is really doing. I think I could have gone Mardu Lurrus with like the Oni Colt Anvil card and the chromatic stars and stuff like that.
Yeah, Chris was asking about that card. I think it could have been a potential way, but he was more blue-black.
Yeah, it sounded cool.
I was super into Kinnan and doubling cube with my signets, but I don't think it worked out. It didn't. I don't think my mana was going to work out either. But Kinnan is really strong, and I thought there's like you double your mana each turn for the doubling cube, and it stays in the play with the upwelling. Seemed powerful.
Yeah, you need to commit early to being green so you can take all the good one mana dorks. Because those are the best cards with Kinnan, more than the signets.
I think you would have taken Tameshi if you were not already Lurrus.
It's possible.
You could
I
take all the
don't
baubles.
think there were any super good cards to get back with it. Obviously, the baubles are nice. You're just drawing a
You get the
bunch.
sagas. The sagas are good.
The sagas are very good. Yeah, that would have been sick. I didn't think of that. Like a Just Guy, Tameshi with Fable and the good 3-mana white saga.
I think Matt could have taken Inspired Ultimatum. It might have been hard on the mana. That was the toughest part about it, but
Yeah, that
I
was my
think
main
it was
concern.
good. And you had Twin Cast, you had Lutri. It could have been contender.
A card you don't have on here is Tom Babaldi or whatever, the 5-mana, 5-color saga tribal card, which was awful in the Lord of the Rings draft because there's like 5 playable sagas in there. But with Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and there's also the 5-color Kami War saga, that could have been something for someone more adventurous than us.
Terrence. Terrence could have taken that with all
That
his
should have been
fixing, his
me.
birds, yeah. You could have taken the Kami War. That could have been for you.
Yeah, that would have been sick. It's like Kanan, all the mana dorks, 5 colors. The fixing was very good.
All right. Congrats, Henry. Great job. Lurrus, the GOAT, as always.
Strongest card printed since 1995.
That's true. All right. See you on our next Roto Draft. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Peace.